Hey, what's going on, guys? It's FPL Yusuf here, and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to bring you guys my game week 26 team selection, but also my wildcard draft as well. We're going to combine this all into one video as the turnaround for game week 26 deadline is very, very short. So in this video, we're going to discuss how we got on in game week 25, what my transfer plans are looking like for game week 26, and just a little teaser, my wildcard is active. I'm going to show you guys what my wildcard draft is looking like, some teams that we should be targeting for this upcoming fixture run for the next sort of 5-6 game weeks. We'll go over what my watch list is like, and of course, my final team selection at the end of this video. So I do hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please don't forget to drop a thumbs up and subscribe down below. And as always, let's just jump straight into it. Okay, welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for being here with me today on my YouTube channel for another video. So before we get into this one, I just want to quickly apologize if this setup, my camera angle, the sound, everything looks so different. So I am actually recording this currently in my car because today, time we record this, is Sunday morning. It's the only time I'm going to have before Tuesday's deadline. So I wanted to make sure that I get this video uploaded, which is why I'm going to condense it all into one. So I was planning to do a wildcard draft and of course a transfer targets and a final team selection video. So we're going to squeeze it all into one video. So it might be a little bit longer today, but just bear with me on that. But hopefully the camera angle and the sound quality is still just okay. It's only for today. It's just because I'm doing this on the fly, but I wanted to get this one up for you guys. So yeah, fingers crossed all goes well on that one. Right, so let's take a little recap at how we got on in game week 25. And we still have two current players to go today for Manchester City, which is Semenyo and Donnarumma. So our points aren't final yet, but we finished on 57 points from yesterday's games. We obviously did take a -4, taking us to actually 53 overall. A very, very small green arrow up to about 425k, which is about 20k rank increase. Not too bad. Overall, the team actually did really well. So we'll start off in the defense. Obviously, Donnarumma, like I said, has still got today to play, so we'll get hopefully some points from him later on. Double Arsenal clean sheet at the back. Gabriel and Timber both coming with 6 pointers. Really, really nice way to end off the game week. Trevor Chalobah, only 4 for him, conceded the 1 goal to Wolves, and we're going to talk a little bit about Chelsea later on in this video as well. He did hit DEFCON as he usually does, which is really nice. So, even though they lost the clean sheet, it still doesn't feel too bad with a 4-pointer. A little bit better returns this week in our midfield. Obviously, Harry Wilson, again, only 2 points. Going to talk about him a little bit. Elliot Anderson, Declan Rice, 4 and 5 points respectively, both hitting DEFCON again, which is always a nice little top-up on top of their playing points. Bruno Fernandes, one of our players that we bought in for a minus a week, did come back with a massive return, 10 points. Obviously, we had him captain, which got us 20 points. So a big, big haul from him. Really happy to have bought him in and just taken the gamble for him this week. I didn't start Erling Haaland. I did bench him, but João Pedro currently 8 points for him. Really, really happy with that return this week. 2 assists for him. Jared Bowen unfortunately did absolutely nothing in his game against Burnley. This will be his last game week for him anyway, so he will be leaving our team shortly after this. But overall, like I said, 57 points. We obviously did take a -4 to get Bruno Fernandes in, so we are on 53. A small green arrow. 2 players left to play in Antoine Semenyo and Donnarumma in goal. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get some more points from them. But overall, really good game week so far. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can finish it off on a strong note. Let's just jump into some teams to target for the upcoming game weeks. So yes, as I said at the start of this video, my wild card is active and I am playing it this week. Now, there was a little bit of deliberation about whether I should do it this week or maybe wait till 31, 32, 33 when we know, the next round of big doubles coming up. Obviously, there are going to be a few teams blanking in 31. But for me, I just want to go high upside and I'm really trying to chase rank this year. I'm really trying to push myself to finish as high as possible. And I think in order to do that, certain decisions are going to have to be made. Certain big ones are going to have to be made as well. So yeah, for me, I'm all about targeting upside. And I think for the next sort of 3-4 game weeks, there's a lot of upside, which I think will actually be quite differentials compared to the fact that most people are probably going to wait to play their wild card. So I'm going to take a quick little recap at some of the teams we should be looking to target for this coming game week, obviously in 26, but also teams that are, have got a nice run up until the next 3-4 game weeks after this one as well. So we'll start with Arsenal first. Of course, they've got the double this week. As you can see on screen, I'm going to rank my best players to buy on here. Gabriel, no surprise, is going to be number 1. He has the clean sheet potential. He has the goal threat from corners. I think a lot of people will have him captaincy this week. Some may even go to decide to triple captain this week. Obviously, I can't because my wildcard is active, but I don't think he's necessarily a bad choice. Yuri and Timber, number 2 for me on this list. I just think that for the double, Arsenal's defence is where it's at. I think that they are a lot more reliable than the attack. Even though the attack has looked quite good over the last few weeks, the goals are sort of being spread around. Obviously, Gyökeres come off the bench today with a brace. Zubimendi got a goal. It just depends on whichever day someone decides to turn up for Arsenal's attack. And also the other thing is you can't guarantee who's going to be playing where. So I think the defence for me is really what I want to be focusing on this wild card, which is why it's a little spoiler alert, but I am going triple defence. So yeah, Gabriel number 1, Yuri and Timber number 2, David Raya in at number 3, just continuing with the theme of defence. Declan Rice number 4. Obviously, for those of you who aren't wildcarding, a lot of people will probably have him. I would say just keep him. I don't think he's necessarily that bad of a pick that you need to sort of up him and out of your team and just go for a defender. I think he still will offer, assist threat from set pieces. As we saw in the last game, he got DEFCON as well. So he's still a nice little pick. And at number 5, I've gone for a little bit of a differential, and that is Kai Havertz. Now, I really am liking him playing in this Odegaard role, and he really does look like he's getting the best out of whoever's playing up front of him. You know, Gyökeres came on, and Havertz is a lot more direct than maybe what an Odegaard is. But I also think he has goal threat. He was very unlucky not to score a lovely curling effort in that game against Sunderland. So yeah, I do think Arsenal, for me, definitely you want to be tripled up on this coming game week, but also after this double game week finishes up until 31, they've still got a lot of nice fixtures as well. So I think the defence is definitely the way you'd want to be targeting, as they are first for expected goals conceded this season. But I think that, you know, the likes of Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, maybe even Victor Gyökeres may have a little bit of upside for them, but I think their defence is definitely the ones you want to be targeting this week for them. Right, that brings us nicely on to Liverpool, another team which I'll be looking to target from this game week. Obviously, they're playing Manchester City today. After that, they've got a really nice run for about 7-8 game weeks where, you know, the likes of their attack in particular is really what I'd want to be targeting. So number one I've got up is Ekitike. Obviously, Isak's going to be out to the season. Ekitike is just going to be playing up front. He's in good form at the moment. He come off the back of a brace last game week. And I do think he will get chances. I think he's a very, very good football player as well, which always does help. Number two, I'm going to go with Florian Wirtz. Always seemed to be like a newfound version of Wirtz. Obviously, we saw the one at the start of the season where massively underperforming, but I think the whole Liverpool team were underperforming as well. He does seem to have found his own in the last few weeks as well. So, you know, he offers goal threat, offers assist threat as well. I really do like him as a pick. I think he's a fine option. At number three is Dominic Szoboszlai. Now, I know he's going to be playing at right back, obviously with Frimpong and Connor Bradley being out injured. He's probably going to be the one playing at right back, but it's not too bad. He is still on set pieces. It does make his DEFCON, you know, a little bit easier to hit, shall we say. Maybe takes away from his goal threat ever so slightly, but I still think he's a fine pick anyway. Van Dijk in at number four. Now, I think Liverpool are going under the radar a little bit because of how many games they've lost this season, but they're actually not that bad for expected goals conceded. They are literally just above one. It's 1.01, which in the grand scheme of things, with what you think about how Liverpool played this season, I actually think that that's really good. So yeah, Van Dijk for me, nice little pick up there. And number five is a big differential, which I can't believe I'm saying this, but it is Mo Salah. Now, I personally don't think he's worth the money, and I wouldn't go there. But if you are, you know, really low down and you're looking for a way to try and climb back up, you're maybe open to getting rid of Erling Haaland. He's on penalties. Liverpool haven't really won that many this season, but, you know, I think if you're looking for a differential and you're really trying to climb rank, it's a decent shout there. But I think the four that I've mentioned ahead of him would definitely be the Liverpool assets that I'd want to jump on first before I go to Mo Salah. Okay, Brentford in at number three. Igor Thiago, without a shadow of doubt, is going to be number one. He's on penalties. He's just taken over very nicely for Brentford this season. So, yeah, he's a standalone. I think a lot of people will probably gravitate to him towards, you know, after game week 27, once they get the Arsenal game in 26 out of the way. I'm going to go for Dango second, and that's only because Kevin Schade is suspended for another 2 games. So, you know, Dango for me, obviously coming off the back of a goal last game week, or this game week, should I say, currently as is still active. So he's still there. I think once Kevin Schade comes back, I probably have Schade above him. But for the time being, Dango is number 2. Kevin Schade will be number 3 then for that reason. Obviously, he's suspended for another 2 games. Kelleher in at number 4. I think he's actually a really, really good pickup. If you're looking for someone to rotate, maybe, you know, have on the bench for some games, if you've got a David Raya or a Donnarumma, you know, they're not going to play in 31. Kelleher will play in 31. I do really like him. I think he could offer quite high upside with the amount of saves he makes. Now, last up is going to be Christoph Ayer. Now, I was going to put Nathan Collins in here, but for some reason, he seems to have been dropped over the last 2 game weeks. I don't know what's happened there. He's almost guaranteed for DEFCON's most game weeks, but it doesn't seem like he's really going to get back into the team at the moment. So, Ayer, you know, he's played the most minutes behind Nathan Collins. He does very well for DEFCON as well. He's better than Sepp Vandenberg, better than Coyote. So I personally would be going for him as a last pickup. And spoiler alert, he is in my wildcard draft as well. Number 4, a team that is over probably more of a smaller sample size to about game week 30-31 is Crystal Palace. Ismaila Sarr is number 1 for me. Now, when Mateta's not on the pitch, he is on penalties. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with Mateta being reintegrated into the squad. You know, there was a whole lot of discussion about him on deadline day about wanting to leave. Strand Larsen's obviously signed for them, so I'm not really too sure how it's going to work. But I think Ismaila Sarr at 6.3, 6.4 million, however much he is, if he is on penalties, offers great value for money. Daniel Munoz, we all know his upside for attacking. Clean sheets are almost a bonus with him, which sounds a bit crazy, seems as he is a defender. But they have Burnley at home, they have Wolves at home, they've got really, really nice fixtures coming up, Crystal Palace. And Munoz is definitely somebody that I'd want to be targeting because he can get you points at both ends of the pitch. I've gone for Mateta at number 3. Now, like I said earlier, I don't really know what's going to happen with him. I don't know if he's starting or not. We'll have to wait and see today because Palace are playing on the Sunday to wait and see whether or not he starts or if they are going to go for Strand Larsen and just completely exile him from the squad. I don't know how that's going to work. Mateta, obviously, when there's another adamant striker there, if Palace aren't winning by sort of 60, 65 minutes, he usually gets bought off anyway. And I think Strand Larsen's there now. That probably does pose a minutes risk at Mateta, which is why I've got him down at number 3. The 4, I've gone for Maxence Lacroix. I've got him above Chris Richards, who is at number 5, because ever since Chris Richards has swapped sides, he's gone to the left-hand side now of the back 3. He doesn't seem to hit DEFCON anywhere near as much as he used to, whereas Lacroix still continues to do what he does best, has a little bit of upside from goal threat as well, but is a little bit more better for DEFCON right now. So yeah, Lacroix in at number 4, and I'm going to put Chris Richards at number 5. And the last team I'll be looking to target is Chelsea. Now, as you can see, the first 3 players are attackers. That's because Chelsea are actually predicted to, or at least over the course of the season, they've had the highest expected goals at 1.85, so they're averaging nearly 2 goals a game. So Cole Palmer, we've seen what he done yesterday, hat-trick in the first half. This is what the man could do. Now, he did get brought for 60th minutes. Obviously, he's still not 100% fit, but with Wolves at home and Burnley at home coming up, for me, he is going straight in my wild card as a captain on those 2 game weeks, because when he's on the pitch, he's on penalties, which means Enzo won't be. And we've seen how explosive he can be. It's not a surprise that Cole Palmer does this. We know, we've seen it in the past before. I think the biggest thing for him is just trying to stay fit. But if he is fit and he is playing 100%, he's worth every penny that he brings to that Chelsea side. So yeah, Cole Palmer at number 1. João Pedro at number 2. Obviously 2 assists up front. It doesn't really look like there's going to be much competition between him and Liam Delap there, and rightly so. You know, he's far clear in my eyes as opposed to Liam Delap. Offers, you know, great build-up play, open play, goal threat as well in this Chelsea side. So yeah, João Pedro at number 2. Enzo Fernandez in at number 3. I think Fernandez still has a little bit of upside due to that Palmer's not 100% fit. So when Palmer does come off the pitch, he is next in line for the penalties. Has got a little bit of potential from open play, but I think you're probably more reliant on the fact that when Cole Palmer's not there, he's on penalty duty for Chelsea, which is why it makes him a nice asset. Trevor Chalobah in at number 4. Now, Chelsea's defence for me isn't as great as what the fixtures show. We saw yesterday against Wolves, they did concede. Their numbers overall over the course of the season compared to their attacking side is not great. Chalobah's very good for DEFCON though, as we've seen, you know, from yesterday. Even though they lost a clean sheet, he still brought home 4 points because he hits DEFCON, and I do like him as a pick. I think he's getting a little bit pricey now. I don't know if I'd pay that much for him at this point. I know they've got Wolves, they've got Burnley coming up, they've got Leeds, they've got a really nice couple of next 2-3 games, but I still don't trust the Chelsea defence that much. Rob Sanchez in at number 5. It was really hard to pick a last defender. I was going to go for Reece James, but you're never too sure whether he's going to play or if it's going to be Gusto. So I've gone for Rob Sanchez, just, you know, set and forget goalkeeper for the next couple of weeks. And then if you are wildcarding a little bit later, an easy transfer out for you. Right, so that being said, my top 5 players in each position for this coming game week. If you're not on a wildcard, you are looking to bring in some transfers. We'll start with defence first. Gabriel and Timber are number 1 and 2. No surprises there. Arsenal, of course, in the double game week coming up, which means for this game week solely, them 2 are there. Saliba, I've got it at number 3. Again, same reason as the other 2. He's in there because of double game weeks. I just think the other 2 have a little bit more upside in terms of attacking threat than Saliba does. But Saliba's probably a little bit more consistent for minutes as opposed to Yuri and Timber. So if you are somebody who, you know, doesn't really like taking risks on minutes, I personally think that Timber will play 90 in both of them because there is a FA Cup game in between the doubles, which I think Ben White will probably start. But, you know, if you are somebody who's feeling a little bit anxious about starting, you know, Timber because of his minutes, Saliba's a fine hold in there as well. Daniel Munoz in at number 4. Of course, like we said, we're going for this week and this week alone for these 5 transfers. So, you know, they're playing Burnley at home. There's threat from both ends of the pitch with him. Clean sheet should be there. Attacking threat could be there. So I think Daniel Munoz offers, you know, a really high upside this week. And last up is Christoph Ayer. Now, this one is not so much for this week, but from next week onwards. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if you are on wildcard like myself, I do recommend bringing him in. Obviously, playing against Arsenal, never a good thing. Probably wouldn't want to start him this game week, but I think from 27 onwards until about 34, 35, I believe, they've got really nice fixtures and he will rotate really nicely with your sort of 4th and 5th defender, depending on where he is in your rankings. Next up onto the midfield, Bruno Fernandes. Right now, I would say he's actually the best FPL asset in the game. He offers so much threat from you know, just attacking play when he's in that number 10. He's got goal threat, he's on penalties, he's on set pieces, he's on corners, he's on free kicks, he's on so many different routes to points. There is chance that he ends up hitting DEFCON in some games just because of how hard he works. So yeah, Bruno Fernandes for me, head and shoulders the best asset and the best midfielder to own right now. Cole Palmer in at number 2. Obviously, for the next 2 game weeks, he's got fantastic fixtures. A little bit unsure about his fitness at the moment, but I think if he's playing, he's on penalties, we've seen how explosive he can be. I think he's a very, very good pickup. Number 3, I'm actually going to go for Florian Wirtz. Now, they are playing away at Sunderland this week, which I think will be a little bit more difficult. Obviously, you'd rather have Sunderland away from home than go into their ground, but I do think Wirtz, with the form he's been in at the moment, and at least, of course, over the next sort of 3, 4, 5 game weeks, he's got really nice run of fixtures. And I think he's almost cemented himself in that Liverpool starting lineup now that Szoboszlai is having to play right back as well. So, yeah, I think he's a fine pick. Declan Rice in at number 4, obviously got the double this week. Another fantastic option for Arsenal. Set piece threat, you know, has a little bit of open play threat, not too much, but more so he's taken corners. And usually when he takes corners, Arsenal score from him. So, yeah, he's a great pick. Obviously, an outside chance of DEFCON in some games too. And finally, Ismail Assar, for me, Burnley at home this week is a fantastic fixture on paper. If Mateta's not on the pitch, I'd imagine he'd be on penalties as he scored one last week. So yeah, I think at 6.3, I think he is 6.4 million, something like that. He offers great value for money too. And finally, onto the forwards, Ekitike first up for me on this list. I think that, you know, Liverpool, with the amount of chances they create at the moment, he seems to be like a stonewall in that team. I don't really see him being rotated out for anyone. Obviously, Szoboszlai, as I said about Wirtz has gone back to right back, which means there's one less attacker to have to deal with rotation with. So I think he'll be fine up front. João Pedro in at number 2. The next 2 game weeks for Chelsea are fantastic, and he's in great form at the moment. You know, holding up the ball well. He's scored in the last couple of games as well. So yeah, really, really nice option for me. And João Pedro, I think, is a great hold for the next 2 game weeks if you're looking for another striker. Igor Thiago in at number 3. Now, the reason why I haven't got him a little bit higher is because, same as Aya, he's better off from next week. But I think if you are on Wildcard, this is the game week to bring him in. You just bench him for this game week against Arsenal and then get ready to start him for the next 8-9 game weeks straight. Erling Haaland's in at number 4. I personally am going out without Erling Haaland. For me, the big thing with him is if you're not going to captain him, I don't really see a point in spending 40 million on him. He's a little bit hit and miss at the moment, and I think all it takes is for Marmoush to continue his run of form for there to be competition. Now, I think Haaland will start the games, but I think there could be early subs for him as well. So yeah, Haaland in at number 4 for me. And last up, number 5, maybe a little bit of a differential, is Ollie Watkins. I think Aston Villa's run from 27, which will be next game week onwards, is very nice. You know, Morgan Rogers is another one who we'll probably be looking at then. But for the time being, I think that, you know, Aston Villa going a little bit under the radar. Obviously having a great season, but I think Ollie Watkins could offer good value over the next sort of 3 or 4 game weeks. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please don't forget to drop a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Once again, I really do apologize for the way this angle is set up today on my camera, maybe the voice, you know, if the sound's not as good, I do apologize. It will be like that for only this video. It's only because I wanted to do it on the fly for you guys. And then obviously we have the deadline on Tuesday, so just remember it's a quick turnaround this week. So if you've got any questions about your team, anything about my team, anything you want to know, just feel free to drop it in the comments down below, and I'll make sure to get back all of you. Or alternatively, if you're on X, feel free to drop me a follow down there. I'll leave a link to it in the description down below. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please don't forget to drop a thumbs up and subscribe down below, and I'll catch you guys next time.